Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex, and today we're looking at a paper trending on X, published on July 17, 2025, just yesterday. This paper introduces a system that doesn't just score machine translations. It explains why a translation is good or bad, moving beyond simple numbers. The paper is titled TransEvalnia, Reasoning-Based Evaluation and Ranking of Translations, 2507.1 to 724v1. And as we'll see, it also proposes a clever method to deal with a common problem in LLM evaluations. The authors argue that as machine translation quality rivals humans, we need better tools for assessment. Alright, so to build this evaluation system, the authors use several different LLMs as the reasoning judges. This table lists the specific models they put to the test, including well-known ones like Mistral, Llama, various versions of GPT-4, and Anthropic's Sonnet. They use these models to score translations along several dimensions based on a framework called Multidimensional Quality Metrics, or MQM. This framework moves beyond a single score to look at specific aspects like accuracy and terminology, giving a much richer picture of translation quality and helping to provide detailed, human-like feedback. Okay, but using an LLM as a judge isn't without its problems. A key challenge is position bias, which is the tendency for a model to unfairly prefer the first or second translation it reads, just based on order. So to tackle this, the researchers tested the three different prompting methods we see here. First, a single step where the LLM evaluates and ranks everything at once. Second, a two-step process. And finally, their novel three-step interleaving method. This third approach makes the LLM compare the translations side by side on each specific metric before making its final ranking decision. Moving to the results. This bar chart shows us how well those different prompting methods actually performed. We're looking at accuracy here, which basically means how often the system's ranking of two translations matches the correct human judgment. The red and gray bars represent the new TransEvalnia system, while the blue bar is the current state-of-the-art, a system called Mount Ranker. As you can see, across most of these datasets, TransEvalnia performs as well as, or even better than Mount Ranker, which is a really promising result for this new approach. And this brings us back to that issue of position bias we talked about earlier. This table here summarizes how well the different systems resisted that bias. We're looking at an inconsistency score, which measures how much a model's judgment changes just by swapping the order of the translations. A lower score is better, meaning the system is more consistent. And what we see is that the new TransEvalnia system, especially using that three-step interleaving method, often achieves the lowest bias score, outperforming or tying with the Mount Ranker system on most datasets. So, we've seen the system is consistent, but how well do its judgments actually align with human experts? This table digs right into that, comparing scores from the Sonnet model against two professional human evaluators. It uses a metric called Spearman's R, which is a statistical measure of how well two sets of rankings agree, where a score of 1 would be a perfect match. The key finding here is that the agreement between Sonnet and a human is on par with the agreement between the two human experts themselves, a really strong validation. To give you a concrete look at how this evaluation process actually works, this figure walks us through an example. Here, the system is tasked with evaluating 4 different machine translations of a Japanese haiku. First, the LLM judge evaluates each translation individually. Then comes that crucial interleaving step we talked about, where it reorganizes the feedback, comparing all 4 translations side by side on specific criteria, like accuracy and emotional content. Finally, based on this direct comparison, the system makes its ranking decision, providing a detailed explanation for why it chose a particular translation as the best. So to wrap things up, the big takeaway here is that TransEvalnia offers a much richer way to evaluate translations. Instead of just a single score, it provides detailed, reasoning-based feedback that aligns with human quality metrics. And importantly, its novel three-step interleaving method proves to be a very effective strategy for reducing that tricky position bias. The system's performance is competitive with the best out there, and its judgments are impressively close to those of human experts. That's our show for today. Thanks for joining the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex.